Hello and welcome to Bringing Education Home. I'm Herb.
And I'm Christina. And together we bring you experts and ideas to help grow healthy, happy, successful families that are both inside
and outside the box. If you like the show, be sure to follow Christina on Facebook.
And please leave us a like review on your favorite podcast platform.
I now have the pleasure of introducing Robin Stoltman. Robin is America's #1 fertility and parenting mindset expert, a transformational resilience speaker, global coach, and founder of Healing for the Soul Plus, with more than 2,000 hours of training in hypnotherapy and behavioral science. And as a proud mom of 8, Robin helps women heal fertility struggles and parents build resilient, connected families. She brings both professional expertise and real-life experience to every conversation about growth, healing, and the power of mindset. Welcome, Robin. It is a pleasure to have you here today. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Well, I'm so glad to be here. So thank you so much, Herb and Christina, for having me on your show as a guest. I love this. This is a huge opportunity.
Thank you. And we were also on Robin's show not too long ago, so you can go find it, our show there as well. So do we have the numbers right? Mom of 8, or you have a new little one right there? Is it a bigger number now?
Oh, no. It's okay. This is number 8 for living. Otherwise, no, I've got 11 total, but the ones that are living are 8 total, and there's 7 are boys.
7 of them are boys.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's gonna be
busy household. So that's kind of where we wanted to jump in, right? You're basically a super mom of 8 living children, an entrepreneur, businesswoman as well, and trying to keep everything together. I mean, the fact that you're on a podcast less than a month after you've had your last one is just like, oh my goodness.
Not even that. This is her 4th podcast today. She just told us.
So.
Yeah, she started talking, so this will be just a no.
So tell us why. What is your passion? What is this all about? What makes you want to put yourself out there that much? Because most people would think 8 kids alone is enough. I don't need to do anything else.
Yeah, well, most stop it too. I'm like, or 4. And then me, I'm like, well, I love kids. I really should have owned a daycare. I'm just saying. But at the same time, it's like you can't love them like you can your own, and watch them keep growing. So for me, my thing that really started, like my passion has been wanting to help people succeed. Like if I looked at like all the different layers of everything, of like the ongoing themes over my entire life has been, I want people to succeed. Sometimes more than my own self for success, because I'm like, if they can succeed, I know I can do it. And that's where, like, for me, I'm like, I look at the millionaires and the billionaires in a different way than most people, because I'm like, they did it. What can I do? What am I missing in that I'm not doing, that I should be doing or could be doing to get to where they're at? And so for me, it's like I want to take those lessons and still help other people. So the biggest passion would be being able to like help. Right now, it's been this since like 2020 that I'm like, I really figured out like the fertility method, that the fertility mindset revolution that I've created. I'm like, I had the help of my toy poodle with that. Lila, she's the one that helped me really uncover, like I had something of, because before I had my children, now that I've got, I was told I'd never have children. So when it came to Lila, my toy poodle, like she was the one that started the creation of that, because I'm just like, I'm just going to accept I'll never have children medically. Like, there's no way. I went to multiple OBs, not just one, and stopped. Went to multiple different ones. They all told me the same thing. So in that journey, I'm just like, just accept it, move on. And then I realized, I'm like, I was treating her like a baby. I was doing the things, like she had her own clothing line. She had her own clothing line, basically. Like she had clothes. Yeah.
Lila is your dog. So we're talking about her what? It was a Cocker
my
Spaniel?
Toy poodle. My toy poodle Lila that I put down last week. Yeah. Because she's 16 and a half years old. So like she was the one that started out. Like literally I could hold her like a baby. She would jump up into my arms. She could hop over a 4-foot fence. We had to get a 6-foot just so she couldn't jump it. I had taught her so much, and she was the one like had her own clothes, like I said, and we push her into a human stroller because she would break the dog once. So she was the one that was like, I realized in doing what I was doing to get pregnant when I was working backwards, because I wanted to know, like, how did I do it? And then I figured out it was because I was acting as if I already had it. And that was through the dog. And I didn't realize that, like, I didn't put it together until later. And then there was some other things that I did. And I was like, I want other people to experience that joy of being a parent. Like, there's no words for it. I'm like, I've tried to think of words.
Yeah.
You can't describe, like, the C-section side of it. I can 100% describe, like, what that feels like. It's horrible. Like, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. That's why I use hypnosis. So I don't have to deal with the pain in the back. I'm just saying. But outside of that, because I've only had 8 of them in a row for the C-sections. So it's like, I can describe that pain. But when you get that baby in your arms, that's what I wanted. You can't describe it, like, and like asked my husband, I'm like, how would you describe it? And he goes, can't. He says, like, you have to have the experience. You can't.
It's a
Yeah.
And I just want to reiterate here, you were told you couldn't have children, and now you have 8. Holy.
Yep. 10 pregnancies. 10 pregnancies in all. Yeah.
Wow.
That's one of the reasons why I get upset when people say stuff about me having a large family, because it's like, this was what I wanted. Like, when I was a little girl, the only thing I wanted was to have the husband make all the money, which that didn't turn out. That's fine. I had the husband, but he's just not making all the money. But then I'm like, I just want to be barefoot and pregnant. Like, I just wanted to have a big family, live in a mansion, and be happy, you know? I wanted my Cinderella story. You know, essentially.
One of the things that I heard in that was something that is so simple to do, but so not easy to do. Yeah. And you have an experience of it now in your life, and you know that it's possible, and you help other people do it. But it's like, how is it that we can't take that example and mold the rest of our life that way? So what you said is like, you acted as if you already had the child. It was already yours. You make space for that, and you act as if it's already there. And it's like, okay, how do we do that in other places in our life? And so it's fabulous that you have that experience, that you can help women get to that place with their children. But it's like, man, you have that experience, like, man, I want to do this here. And then there's other doubts and weird things that creep in. But
like business. Yeah, because I'm like, I'm still like working on, because that's one of the things I've asked myself. I'm like, if I can do that, which I did, I'm like, how in the world can I apply this to business? How can I apply this to, like, the relationships? And like, how can one do this? And that's a part that I'm still working on, because I'm like, I've done so much. And then it's like, well, it's the same thing. It's that belief. You have to have that belief in yourself that you can do something. And it's like, I didn't have the belief. And that's like when people sit there and say, well, I believe in you, borrow my belief. I'm like, it doesn't work like that. You can't. To me, people are just trying to sell you. I'm just saying, like, that's just how it, you know.
And I gotta say, it's also not about what you do, because it goes back, because you can't do it. You can't force yourself to believe. And
no, you can't.
No, you can't. So that the having the dog be that for you for a while accidentally put that in your life, and then gave you the realization to help you then create more. And to me, that's just fabulous brain science, law of attraction, all of the stuff that they talk about, all wrapped up about how easy or about how simple it is. It's so simple. It's so simple.
You just change that little belief.
My gosh, how easy is it?
Well, yeah, it very much is. And that's like what I said, like when I was figuring out that with Lila, I'm like, that's literally like what I was doing, but unaware of it.
Yeah.
And then I do remember, like, the one thing that I did that helped the most was I made that decision. Like when I was holding my niece, because my doctor said, well, just enjoy. That's all you get to have is nieces and nephews from your sister. And I'm like, this isn't good enough for me. I'm like, I remember making that decision that I was willing to die to be a mom. Like, I didn't care. I was willing to do whatever it took to be a mom. And I'm like, yes, I've got all these kids now. So yes, I'm a mom times 11 children total. But I'm like, that still is like where I've noticed is that if I want something to make it work, you have to be willing to decide to do whatever it takes to make it happen, even if that includes death. You probably don't have to go that far, but I've noticed if you want something bad enough, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes. And most people aren't willing to do whatever it takes. And so that's like with me in business. I'm like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help to make sure that I get my mission out there, which is helping people become the best version of themselves, to helping people get seen, to get heard, to be heard and be valued. And that's what I've noticed. Like it's an ongoing life theme has been literally being seen, heard, and valued. Because I'm like, why am I starting like the school community? And I'm like, this is a podcast. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, helping people be seen, heard, and valued.
Yep.
And then like the school community, I'm like, why? And I'm like, oh, it's the same thing, being seen, heard, and valued because I'm valuing people. And then like my children, I'm doing the exact same thing with them. And it's like, I'm valuing them and like they want it, like the one wants to be a farmer, I'm leading him down that road. And, and then the one wants to play piano. And it's so neat this morning is that Lester, he wants to play piano. And so he got up early all on his own before I was up, before his dad was up, before his brothers were up. He had a little light to play his piano, had the headset on his ear so he could play piano and listen to himself play. And I was like, I woke up to that this morning. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I didn't tell him how to get up early and do all that, but he's seen me enough get up early and read and have my time with God because nobody wants me without my time with God. I'm just saying, like, that's my number one. I don't even want me until I have my time with God. I'm just saying. I need my time with Jesus. Like that's my firm foundation. If I don't get my God time, just stay with me.
So that's better than coffee. Yay.
Yes. Well, coffee is with that too. But
Coffee comes next.
Coffee comes
Yeah.
next, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yes.
God time right into
Yes.
the coffee pot.
Oh my gosh, I love that. But you know,
sometimes you got to pray over the coffee. I'm just saying.
there you go. Lord, I need you today, and please give this coffee the juice that it needs to get me through the rest of the day. But what you just said, oh my gosh, what I want to pick out of that was that role modeling, right? How do we help our kids be seen, heard, and valued? That role modeling is a key portion of it. You said that you have gotten up early to get things done. You have put your focus on things that need to get done, and your children have seen that, and now he's learned. How old is this kiddo that's doing piano?
He is 7. And he asked me about playing piano. I'm like, you know what? That's the most sweetest words that's ever come out your mouth other than I love you. Like to me, like that's what I dreamed about. And that was the funny thing is that I had wrote that down on one of the things I wanted for my vision. I didn't do like a vision board, but I wrote it down like what I wanted. Like I want my children to play piano. And that was one of the things. So like when he asked me, I was like, that's real. Like that's something I wanted. Yeah. But I never told him. That's the beautiful part about it. Like I never told him. Yeah. And it's like my husband, like all the kids, I probably didn't tell him like all the kids at some point, but I'm like, he pretty much figured it out. Just give me what I want and we're good.
So a role model and an amazing educator, because it's like what you're teaching your children is probably more important than anything that they're going to learn in school. Mm-hmm. And there's probably going to be a lot of things they learn in school that you don't want them to. So,
well, that, and then also it's like my kids are reflecting back and teaching me. Like they're teaching me the not so good stuff of me that I need to work on, which is a blessing. Most people would not see it that way. And at the same time, when I'm teaching them, like my daughter, because I only got one daughter, I teach her I am a powerful woman of God. And I make sure that like the tonality is steady where it's going down. So it's more believable, because if it's going up in the tonality, that's a question. Yeah. And so I'm teaching her I am a powerful woman of God, and then I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And I'm teaching her this, and I'm teaching my boys this as well at the same time. And I'm like, what's a man's job? And they're like, to protect our family. And I'm like, I'm teaching them all this now because it's going to help them in the long term of things. And at the same time, now they're like, Mommy, why haven't you said it about you? And I'm like, oh, So then I'm like, ha ha, I see how God worked this one.
Oh, there you go.
Because I haven't believed it. But now my kids are like, well, if you have us believing it, why aren't you doing it? So that's that reflecting of,
Yeah.
oh, that was like a huge slap in the face. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you should be doing this too. So then I've been doing it, and then I've been like feeling better about myself. And I
that's an
was not
amazing
expecting
amount of
that.
self-reflection as well, to be able to see that. A little thing that was hanging in her parents' bathroom was this little saying that is like, children are never the problem. They are a reflection of the problems that they see. So if your children are acting up, there's something going on with you and in your household, and it's your responsibility. And watching other people's families throughout the years, it's like you can really see that, wow, it's like this is how the parents are behaving and this is how the children are reacting. And it's like, this is where the issue is. And then they send their child off to counseling. And it's like, that's weird. So your ability to say, oh yeah, my children are acting this way, it's like, ooh, where am I out of balance? That tremendously powerful. That, if parents, tremendously powerful if you can do that. And that is simple, but it ain't easy.
Oh, we want to hear another one. I was debating on telling anybody about it, but my son, he had called me a witch, but with a B.
Oh,
And so he called me that, and I was like, I'm like, I went over by him, and I'm like, God, please help me. I'm like, God, please help me. I'm like, I need help. And then I
Help
took
me
a deep
not be
breath
what
in.
he just called me.
Yes, exactly. And like all the things that I wanted to do, and I'm like, God, just help me. And then I'm like, you know what? I just let it go. I didn't hit him. I didn't yell at him. I didn't do anything. I just sat down, and I'm just like, I created that. I allowed my husband at one time to say that. I've allowed my mom to say that many a times about me. And I'm like, I created that. And then I got the idea, the realization at that moment when he had said that last week here, that I am the one that's responsible because I taught him how to treat me. So when he said that, I was like, I felt so small. My husband said, well, it's not you. He shouldn't, and I'm like, no, it really is me. Like it comes back to me because I allowed that to happen by the two adults closest to me to treat me like this. So now he's learned how to treat me. And how many parents don't see that? They would flip the other way, like what I would have lived. I'm just saying, if it was me when I was a kid, I would not have been walking. We'll put it that way. I'm just saying. So for me to stop and ask God for help, to not do anything, to not, to react, and then how I chose to react instead. And then his other brother had seen this when I was signing up for the piano that went and played it this morning. It's like for him to see how I handled it, he's like, he was just being quiet. But it's like I could tell in his mind, he's like, that's how I want to be. I want to be able to hold my composure. I want to be the one that's just like calm, walk away, just take a deep breath and just leave it alone. So then the next day when he said, do you want me to call you that again? And I says, you know what? I says, I've already had the worst things happen to me. I've already been told there was no heartbeat from when I miscarried. And then that my son Miracle was never coming home. So I'm like, whatever you want to say to me, go for it. I says, it doesn't bother me. Because I said, I've already had the two worst things ever been said in my life. And so it's like, it told him that, oh, I'm not going to take crap. I'm not willing to do it. And he hasn't said that since, but he even told his doctor that he said that. And I'm like, I'm proud of you. Like he admitted that he said something, he shouldn't have said it, but he was able to think through on his own that he should not have said that. He should have done things better, and he did say that he was sorry for it. And I make sure when my kids say sorry, it's not that snobby sorry. It's that I am sorry. And then we like, why are you sorry? We don't do the whole sorry game. And no, I'm like, it has to be real,
There's
has to be
meaning
genuine.
behind
My
it.
brain sciences,
Yeah.
I love that, but my
Yes.
brain sciences is changed from I am sorry to I apologize. Because an
Huh.
apology is something tangible. Saying I am
True.
sorry is pointing an I am, and you're defining who you are, and you're telling people that you are sorry, and you're not sorry. You know, you
Yeah.
can apologize for something that you've done wrong, but don't be sorry, because that's
Yeah.
not something you should have to carry around. So that's just my brain science, a little bit of
Oh,
coaching.
well, no,
A
that's
seed-
fine.
A
But
seed planted, if it takes root, awesome. If not, you're doing amazing. Don't let this one
well,
little,
yeah.
but just kind of those
Well,
little brain tricks. I apologize.
well,
That wasn't a good thing for me to say. I apologize. I shouldn't have gotten angry. I'm not,
yeah.
I apologize. I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, that helps because it's like we're still learning. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing. Like we're still learning. And like I said, it's one of those things that like when that did come up, like he hasn't said it since. And it's like, but the realization was for me. That was like the biggest thing. I'm like, I was wondering like how I'm training the world to see me. And he slapped that right in my face, literally, like,
Yeah.
this is how you are training the world to walk all over you. And I was like, oh, so when we go
So,
back
and
to
I
how,
want to point something else out here too, real
yeah,
quick, because this is also,
yeah,
you said you've allowed your husband to say that to you. Your husband
yeah,
shouldn't say that to you. No.
no,
And your husband should teach your children how it is
respect
to
the mom.
respect a woman and a mother. And there are a lot of memes out there right now and jokes on YouTube
yeah,
where they film the kid saying, "Shut up, mom," and the dad standing up and taking action, like right then, right there. This is not acceptable how you talk to your wife, to my wife, your mom. So when you said that,
yeah,
boy, all sorts of things. So I still got all, so to the dads out there who heard that, is like, no, 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 no. Okay, I'm there with you.
Do your manly duty.
There
and
there is
step
a
up.
there is
yeah,
a there is a, because it's like the men are
Yeah.
supposed to be able to take that on. If you want to come at a parent like that, you come at me and we'll fight, and I'll let you get that energy out. But this disrespect does not move towards women. Period.
well,
Period.
yeah. And that's why when he sat there and said, when my husband and I talked about it later when the kids were in bed, I'm like, he said, well, I don't do that anymore. And I'm like, I know that, but he caught that behavior when he was younger. And I says, now I'm like, I was questioning, like, can I change that? And he's like, well, yeah, we can still change it. I'm like, well, yeah, because you're not saying that now. But I says, that means that you got to do the work of doing things differently, and it's just like one of those things. That's why I said it's like a constant thing in progress that like nobody else sees. Like, yeah, I've got a lot of accomplishments. I'm just saying, like, I've got the Maxwell leadership, I've got the hypnosis diploma, like I've got all these things, XYZ, in my podcast, the school, like I list of like all the things that I do, and I'm like, damn, I should be proud of myself, like all the kids. And then I'm like, but at the same time, it's like those closest I've trained to not have that same. And so that's where that aha is, like, okay, because those closest should love me more. And that's why I'm like, my greatest accomplishment, like at the end of the day, I'm like, it's all the kids. And then my husband, because it's like, I'm not exactly nice to him either some days. So it's like, I own that. I'm
Right.
just
We all have
saying.
our ups and downs. I mean, that's
Yes.
part of
Well,
the relationship,
yeah.
right?
Well,
but
yeah, we do.
Well,
And that's like, my
it
children were
makes sense.
saying something. Well, yeah. And they were talking about, my daughter was saying about like for marriage earlier. She's only 4. So she's asking questions, And my thing was, is I'm like, well, marriage, I'm like, it's the messiest, hardest work you'll ever do in your entire life. It just is, because it's like you're figuring out who you are, then you add kids to it, and then you're trying to figure out, where did all these kids, same father, but where did all they come from? Like, how many personalities does this other person have that I'm not aware about? I'm just saying, like, all the
Your
other
child is exactly the same.
So yeah, this is what they talk about. It's like 54 factorial, a deck of cards. There
yeah,
are billions and trillions of combinations in a deck of cards with 54 factorial. And with our 23 chromosomes, that goes off the frickin' charts. There have never been 2 people in the history of the billions going back thousands.
yes,
2 people, personalities have ever been the same. And you think that when you have a kid that they're going to turn out how you want them. Ha, 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 ha.
Well, that's exactly why I brought it up, because I'm like, how in the heck do you get all these different personalities? That's why I'm like, marriage is great. Like I said, and then you add the kids, and it's like one after the other, they're all different. It's like one has autism, one doesn't, or not one doesn't, but like one has autism, the others are fine, and the one that's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like some days, I'm just saying, like your 18-month-old, or not, he's not 18 months now, he's 19 months. He thinks it's a great idea to jump up on the table and start dancing. And we're like, no, we're not doing it. And then it's like, so you got to go take him down, it's like all these different facets that nobody likes to talk about. Like you go through as a family, but then teaching your kids at the same time of, we don't do these certain things. Like the one that was, like I said, he was the one with autism, the one that called me a witch with the,
Yeah, there's a children's version of the there's a children's version of the Myers-Briggs type index. And if you just look at those, you can learn how to talk to each child, how they need to be talked to, much easier than it's going to take you over the next 18 years. And then they're leaving and then you figure it out.
Yeah.
Some of these Myers-Briggs type things and these personality profiles, they actually give you tools on how to talk and how to teach and how to move with your children, because they are all themselves.
Well, that's the beautiful blessing about being a hypnotherapist, about doing all of this 7 years ago when I first started, was because I learned over time, like personalities, like how to be able to speak with them differently. And then I've learned like literally how to read faces and the hand, and not like palm reading, but like reading the faces and being able to understand the children differently. So I know how to talk to them differently. And then adding like the disc into it, I was like, oh my God, one's a C. I'm like, oh great.
Those amazing tools.
Yeah. And I was like, one's a C. And I'm like, oh great, this is perfect. Because I'm like, I struggle talking to C's and S's. And I'm like, I think my husband's an S. So I'm like, because he doesn't like ever talk. So I'm just like,
that's just a guy thing.
But I'm like, it's so fascinating is that it's been huge tools that most people don't even have or even think of doing. So that's like I said, my mission has been, I got all these different things, but it's literally, like I said, it goes back to helping people be seen, heard, and valued. And how do you do that? By learning about the other person. And then when you learn more about, like the more I've learned about myself, it allows me to understand other people, like where they're coming from. Like I had one of the doctors for the kids was just having, he normally wasn't this like grumpy towards me. And I'm like, I wonder what was wrong with him. I'm like, I wonder what happened before he got in the room with me, because he's normally not like this. And I was taking it initially like, oh, I'm not good enough. And then I'm like, I wonder if something happened before he got to me, because he's normally not this way. And then I went and seen him the other day and just fine, like nothing. And I'm like, huh. But it's like, how many people don't stop and think about that? Right. Like there's something else,
Absolutely. So
sorry, I got a lot to say.
So let's put this into parent perspective. In your bio, you talk about calm and focused and resilient. What's one of those things that you would say along these lines for parents? What's one thing they could do maybe today to help bring maybe some calm or some resilience into their family?
You know what I like to do? Stomp my feet. It seriously is just stomp my feet. Like when I'm really frustrated, I've learned just like stomping the feet, and the kids think it's funny. I'm just saying that they think it's hilarious. And I'm like, but when I'm stomping my feet, I'm also grounding my body at the exact same time. Yep. And then they're laughing, they're having fun, which automatically is going to change the mood anyway.
Yep.
So that's like the quickest, easiest way to do it. And that's one of my tips that I use for my own self is like, I'm doing that.
Yeah, and then yesterday I had a bit of energy. And so I did a bouncing thing. So it's kind of like stomping your feet. You just keep your feet planted and you just bounce and you start shaking your arms around and you just kind of wiggle. It looks silly. Kids love it. And if you do it long enough, you'll probably start laughing. And so instead of stomping your feet, just sit there and just wiggle and bounce and like just shake it off.
Well, yeah, and that's fun to do because I know like my kids, they can do it. I just can't do it with my neck that I've got some issues with. But still, I'm like, I watch them and I'm like, man, I wish I could do that again. But it's fun to watch them though when they are doing that, or like when they're watching oh, it's on Yippee, it's Danny Go or something like that. It's a show that they're watching on there. But it's so fun to watch them do the exercise on there. I
Right.
love watching them do that because I'm like, you guys are so quick at it. Me, I'm sitting here like I ain't gonna be able to do half this stuff, but I can try.
And
So,
again, you just had a baby, so don't overdo it there.
well,
Get
yeah.
back
Well,
slowly.
yeah, that's the thing. I'm still like trying to remember. I'm like, it's one of those things like my brain hasn't caught on that I've got like 8 humans to like watch. You
Yeah.
know, like it's kind of funny because it's like when each kid comes, it's like the different numbers. Like, okay, we've got 1, 2, 3. We have literally like a lineup. Like we're at the park, we take the kids to the park. We got 15 passenger van, take the kids to the park, and I was like, okay, when other people start bringing their kids, and then we're like, okay, some kids are leaving. We're like, okay, line up. We're like, we need a lineup of like all the kids, and then the kids are like, huh? And I'm like, just line up. So then they all come. I'm like, if you're Stoltman, come line up. So that they all come line up. We're counting. We're like, okay, how many did we have this last time? How many did we leave with? How many did we start with? It's one of those things that people that don't have the amount of kids that I've got would
Yeah.
never stop and think about.
Yeah.
So
So you have a 15 passenger van. Are you going to fill it up?
we got enough room for 3 more seats. I'm just saying.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You're going to fill it up. You got a month and
No,
a half.
that's 3
old baby
car
there,
seats, I
and
should
you're
say.
thinking about the next one
Less
already.
than a month old.
Less than a month
Well,
old.
I was already thinking about the next one before this one was even done.
Oh my goodness,
So-
girl.
That's I told my husband, I'm like, either I'm the problem or you're the problem. He's like, I think it's you. And I'm like, well, I just like I love being pregnant, obviously. Otherwise I
Your
wouldn't do
body
it so
handles
much.
it well.
Oh yeah, except for the last month.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm done. I just want to meet this one that's doing all this stuff, you know. I'm just saying all the stuff that goes with pregnancy. I just want to know who's been doing this whole time. Like, who are you? What do you look like? You look like one of them I already got, but I mean, like, you get to that stage, you know, but outside of that, I love it.
So how old is your oldest right now?
He is 10.
He's 10. Okay.
So
And your
yeah.
youngest is less than a month, right?
Yeah, it's 5 weeks.
5 weeks. Okay. There we go. Just over.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't stop.
No, I'm literally back to back to back. So that's why I said when I figured out how to overcome the infertility,
Yeah.
it was one of those, I don't know how to stop on that part of it because I'm like, don't ask me like to help you stop. I'm like literally like the other woman that has gotten pregnant from using my method, the one she's still going and she's like, how does this stop? And I'm like, I don't know, that's your problem. You figure out how that stops because I haven't figured it out. And then the other one, she figured out like she's got, you know, birth control, so she's not reproducing all the
Yeah.
time. But I'm like, I don't know how to stop it. Like once you turn that on, it's like it keeps going. But that's like how the law of attraction works anyway, is
Yeah.
because you already have it, so then it just naturally keeps coming.
Yeah, the biblical
So it's
principle is those who have much will get more.
yeah, it very much is true. To whom much is given, much will be required too.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
Yeah, your requirements are pretty drastic at the moment,
yeah.
but it's also
well,
the best job in the whole world, and it's not a job when it becomes that. So
Yeah.
no, and it's the most rewarding too. If you really think about it, that's why I'm like, yeah, that's why I said I've got all my certifications. I've got my diplomas. I've got, you know, the awards. I've got all that stuff. But it's like at the end of the day, that can't go with me. But what I've done with my children,
Right.
like the homeschooling, you know, how I've been teaching them, how I've been doing the different things, they take that with them. And that's was my biggest aha. And that's like as the animals have been passing, I'm like, damn, I'm like with Lila and like my 18-year-old cats that I had that passed, I'm like, they're not my legacy. Like as much as us humans want them to be our kids,
Right.
they're really not. Like they're gone, they're dead. They costed a lot of money. Like, I'm just saying, but they're not going to do anything great in this world. They help us while they're here, but they're not going to do any more. I'm like, my kids, they're my legacy. They're going to be out the ones saying, hey, mom was like this. Oh, you thought mom was like this? Oh, heck no, mom was never that way. You know, like That's like some of the things I've been thinking about, like for business, because I'm like, when I've been around people who have more and are doing more than I am, my kids are going to be the ones watching, and they're going to be the ones seeing, like, how is mom reacting?
Yeah.
Is mom reacting where she's angry, like some people do, like they're angry about people being rich, or is she the one that's reacting like, how did they do it? Like, is she in problem solving?
The curiosity.
And yes, and that's where I'm like, I'm watching, I'm being mindful of that, because like when my son, like I said that to me, that was my aha moment of, I'm training the rest of the world to treat me like I'm little, like they can walk on me. And it's like, that was the biggest aha that I needed. So I'm like, it was a blessing. That's why I'm like, I guess I keep going back to, because like there were so many facets of lessons inside that I was unaware of until that moment. And like I said, I wouldn't have been living if it was me.
There are so many people who have been chasing money and have that money and
Yes.
don't have the family that you do and want the family that you do. And they think having the family that you do would make them rich. There are people.
Oh, it definitely does.
Like, I want the relationship that you have. And it's like, I want something like that, married 34 years together for over 36. It's like, you can, but do you want to do the work for it? And again, this was so much more important than anything else I've ever done in my life. So,
and when he says the
yeah,
word
it is,
it's not the back-breaking, horrible thing we think of as work, right? If we can refocus that as play or movement towards what you want, that's it is work. I mean,
and sometimes it is work
really
when you get mad at your wife.
Yeah.
And you have to think, okay, this is the person I'm going to be with the rest of my life, and I'm angry, and what is that within me that is angry, and why am I angry, and what are 3 things that I can now think of about how much I love my wife and the amazing things that she does. So that's work. That is work. But it is the greatest work that you will ever do in your life, is to put the people in your family first, period, the end. And
it definitely is.
You are wealthy beyond measure right now.
Well, that's why I tell my kids, because I'm like, yeah, the financials isn't there yet, and I'm working on it. So my kids ask me, like, are we rich or poor? And I'm like, well, we're rich. I'm like, of course we're rich. I'm like, we are so incredibly rich because we've got each other. And then I'm looking at all the things that I've taught them, and now I'm starting to see the fruit of it. Did Lester sit there and want to play? Like, he wanted to play piano. Yes, he asked me about it. But he came up with the idea to get up early.
You have a house over your head. You are being fed. You have parents who love you and are going to bring you more brothers and sisters. It's like, you are wealthy beyond measure.
Well, yes, and that's exactly what I'm teaching them. And so that's why I'm like, I'm seeing the fruits of all of the work that I've sowed into them. That's, I'm like, that reap what you sow, it applies in every area of life. It just does. That's why I'm like, dang, there's so many lessons that our kids teach us. And then it's like, when I think about that, like for the rich or the poor part, it's like, I'm extremely rich. Like, I really, really think about it. And it's like what you said, I've got the relationship, I've got the children, I've got like all the stuff that I'm doing for a business, like all the stuff that I want to help people succeed. Like, it's going to come back. I just don't know when. But when it does, I'm going to be like, this was because of all the things that I've done that led me to this. And it wasn't just me. Like, I do a lot of internal work all the time, like so much.
Can I reframe just a little bit? There is so much of what Jesus is doing in your life. So take that away from me. It's like, it's not what you're what Jesus has led you to. So that just
true.
And I know that's what you mean, because I hear it in your voice, but that whole I, there is no I. There is just that presence in Jesus that is allowing you to do all of that. So,
well, yeah, that's the biggest thing. That's why I'm like, little, I'm like, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I'm like, fourth podcast in a row now, and then breathwork session, like, on top of it all, in between all of this too. So I'm like, and then I have kids, and I'm just like, it's okay, I'm getting there. But the beauty is like, I'm catching things all the time to change, to work on.
And
And it's
life,
like,
you just see life in such a different
yeah.
way.
Well, I definitely do. That's why I like my kids. Like they're looking forward to going on a walk after this. And they're all like ready to go. And I'm like, they were fast on cleaning up. And then my husband, like, he's like, well, I was hungry. So then like, why are all the other kids hungry? I'm like, because I'm their leader. I'm like, that's how it works. I'm like, I'm their leader. And that's why I'm like, I wish that parents would be more mindful of that. Like
Yeah.
they're the ones leading their kids to success or failure. Did I grow up in success? Oh, heck no. I did not grow up that way at all. I grew up screwed up every which way. Like we put the
All of
in the
us Gen Xers
dysfunction
were,
part.
right?
Well, I'm in the older millennials, but I'm close enough to
Mm.
the Gen X because I'm in 86. So I'm just saying, but close enough. Like I was the, you want to screw up a kid. Like I was like the poster child. I'm just saying some days. But it's like, even in that, it's like, but I still made a decision that I didn't want to follow that.
Mhm.
And I think that's like the biggest thing is that parents need to realize, make the decision to do more, to become more. Is this going to come overnight? Oh, heck no.
Is
This
it going to
is
be
like,
tiring? Is it going
oh
to
God, yes.
exhaust you? Is it
Oh
going to
yeah,
be
it
the
will.
hardest stuff you've ever done in your life?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Is it going to be the best stuff you've ever done? And is it going to have the best rewards for you?
Oh yes, it will. Because when I'm traveling, like this is what I'm going in my mind. When I'm on the first class planes, and I've only done first class for a reason.
Well, you're going to have to book the whole flight. What are you talking about?
Oh, I know that. I already figured it out. They have 12 seats exactly in first class. I've already the last time I did that, I went to Atlanta, Georgia this year, and I purposely like I know the financials, it would have made more sense for bills and whatever have you, but what I'm getting at is I took the first class. I did the thing of going on this big personal development thing because I'm like, I know where I'm going. Like I have like I know where I'm going. I know where I'm headed. I know that I'm going to be helping people. I know I'm going to be global all over the world. I already know those things. I'm working towards it. So when I went to Atlanta, Georgia, first class, and then my OB, who has over $300,000 a year, I seen what their income is.
Yeah.
I'm like, she was in the rear. And I was like,
What do you
I've
do?
got that. I'm like, I'm one with very little income. You've got a lot more. And then that's when it hit me that it's like, doesn't matter how much money you got. It's your mindset. Because she has the mindset of, I got to hold on to it. That's that lack. Me, I'm like, I'm in abundance and I'm going for it. Damn it. When I get to be a millionaire and I get to change lives and I get to give, like I already got all the organizations I'm giving money to. I'm just saying, I got them listed out. There's 4 of them total. I've got them listed out. I've got the dollar amounts I'm giving to them. And I know, and I'm like, when I get there and I get the luxury of doing those things, I'm like, it's going to be so much fun. But like when I'm in the first class plane, I'm like, one, my whole family can fit. I'm just like, we got to make sure we cap it off so we can all fit in first class. I'm just saying.
Right, there you go.
That's what I'm like, got to
Yeah, I
cap it
saw a
off.
12-year-old in first class when I was going to Hawaii. And my first thought was, wow, that's a lot of money for a 12-year-old.
Well, I figured it out for me. I'm like, it's going to be dang near $12,000 for all of us to go first class. I'm just saying. That's
Yeah.
probably just like one way. But like when I figured it out, I'm like, but what a blessing that's going to be. Because
Yes.
I'm teaching my kids. Because like when I'm doing the things and then I get to teach other people that I did it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing is being seen, heard, and valued. That's why I really figured out like that's my gift. Is not just talking or not just speaking in such a way that it creates change, but it's like I'm becoming the change along the way because I grew up with the whole children should be seen and never heard. So then I realized I'm like, I'm doing the complete opposite of what I was taught. But I'm teaching like my kids each one and then like wanting to help other people do the same. And it's like that's where I've really been like being called and led to. And I'm like, this is huge. Like I'm so happy because it's like I was also taught like in the Bible that God wants to support. I haven't seen that. Like nowhere have I seen it. So I'm breaking through those church beliefs too of that, God wants us to not have money and blessed is the poor in spirit. I figured out where that come from. That's like the OB on the plane, like I said.
So
That's
blessed
the
is the poor in
poor.
spirit is the Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah.
But so Yeah, there's a
It
whole
just
lot
applies
there.
different
But
ways. Yeah.
the Pareto
Yeah.
principle, and even I think through Peter, it's like the Lord doesn't
Yeah.
want us to be poor. But if you
No.
are, it's like have spirit, and that's not the thing. So yeah, there's that's not part of the Bible. So there's part of the Bible that's for
Yeah.
the apostles, for how you go about this, and part of that was about that, but it wasn't for all the people of the church. It was for the apostles who were going out to preach. So yeah, there's little things like that really confuse the heck out of people and turn a lot of people away from the Bible. But it does not mean be poor if you're Christian.
Well, yeah, but like for me, that's what I've always was told, and that's why I've always took it, is that you're supposed to be poor. That's why I'm like, I brought that up, because it's like that is one of those things, because you'd asked earlier, like, how can you apply it, like what I took with the dog, to other areas?
Yeah, we fight that as well. We're in the middle of all of that as well. So totally understand where that is.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I brought it up too, because it's like, if you look at it, like I said, for like the dog, it's like I've been trying to figure out, like, how did I do that? Because it's like medically, like, never supposed to have any babies at all whatsoever. So it's like, how did I do it? And it's like, that's really what I did, was I made the decision. I acted as if I already had it. And so like people are like, why doesn't it work for other things? It's like, you have to have that belief.
Car that way. I test drove it, had a big smile. And when I was in my car, I was visualizing driving that other car. I was never going to get that car. So I was just, and then one day I came home and it was in my garage. She got it for me as a surprise. It's like this doesn't happen. And so, yeah, it does, but it does. And it's like, I have to capture this feeling so I can bring about other things in my life this way in this moment. And I tried to hold on to it and I squished it away instead of being able to just relax into that. And it's like, oh, there it was. How do I bring more?
Well, yeah. And then like you just said about like for the vehicles, I'm like, that's exactly how I did it with 15-passenger van. Because I remember I was test driving some of them. They're hard to find. They're not a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
They're harder to find. So for me, I'm like, I remember that's exactly what I was doing. Because actually I've been teaching my kids the law of attraction the exact same way. Like if you have it in a 3D form, it goes so much faster. Like literally, like I'll show you one of the best things on Amazon. I know we're talking about homeschooling, but this all still applies. I'm not sorry. It still applies. But so I've got this $1 billion wallet. Thank you. Best thing you can get on Amazon. I saw it in Atlanta, Georgia. You see, I learned from other people.
Yes.
$1 million. Like literally. So I have a $100 million business that's producing time and money freedom. So that's really what I want. Yeah. I want as much time with my family as possible to do the things we want to do and then teach other people to do it. So I'm like, I got $101 million bills. Those are like the best thing you get on Amazon, but it's money. It brings light to my face because I'm thinking the time and the money freedom, the first class plane trips, and then showing other people how to do that, and then showing their kids they can do it. Because it's like we're role modeling all the time. So it's like my kids think it's, about the money. And I'm like, yeah, but we're already rich. Yeah. I'm like, think about it.
And if you can give your kids that mindset early, get them out of school, because school is going to take that away from them. School will definitely take that away.
Yeah, I'm already noticing.
Studies. The longer you are in school, the less likely you are to be able to step out into that fashion.
Well, I've already noticed some of those things. Like my kids, like I said, the one will be more that follower. And I'm like, oh God, I'm like, no, we cannot have this, because I'm like, I want them to follow me. If they're going to follow anybody in this world, I want them to follow me before they're going to follow somebody else. Because I've seen like some of the people and I'm like, oh, no, absolutely not. Because I want my kids to question authority. Why are we doing this? Why do we have to do it this way? Has this always been done this way? Because if it has, we need to change it. I'm just saying. Like, I want my kids to be questioning authority, because like even the kids, I want them to question me. And yes, they do question me. but it's like because I've done it this way or I've done it that way, or like even food, I'm like some adults have trouble with vegetables, as an example. My kids, they eat vegetables all the time. Like my 4-year-old daughter, she's the one that taught me to like spinach. Like, I'm just saying.
I've gotten her eating some green vegetables
Finally
now.
got me to eat some green vegetables. Oh my gosh.
But I mean, like, it's simple things like that, you know,
Yeah.
too, at the same time. But it's like, if you think about it, we're really homeschooling our kids all the time.
Yes.
So let's make the formal education part of that.
Part of that life,
Get 'em out of
life
school.
learning. Yeah, exactly. Robin, this has been such a great conversation, and we've covered so very, very much. Is there something that we didn't get to today that you're like, oh, I really want to make sure I say this on the show today?
Not really that I can think of.
Okay.
Unless it's the one time I am quiet.
Right.
What do you want to say?
just all of it. No, you've been amazing. Awesome. Tell our audience how to get a hold of you. I'm sure there are people who are going to listen. It's like, you know what? She has the upbeat, the connection, the whatever it is that really sings to my soul. And I want to talk with her and find out more. Would you tell our audience how to get a hold of you so they can have that experience?
I definitely can. The best way is going to go to my website. So it's ROBINSTOLT as in Thomas, M as in mom, A as in apple, N as in Nancy.com. So it's robinstoltman.com. This would be the best way. And then the other would be just find me on social media. I finally figured out how to get it because it's like the Healing for the Soul Plus now comes back to me once I typed in everything as Robin Stoltman. So like on Instagram and all that, it still goes back to my website, Healing for the Soul Plus.
Awesome.
So thank you for having me. I appreciate it too.
Yeah. No, it's been a great conversation. I know we have more conversations that we need to have off screen as well as on screen.
Yes.
As you're developing, as things come around, don't forget to reach back out to us and let us, have you back on the show at some point. Okay. Thank you for being here today.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's been a pleasure today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for having so many kids. I wish we were going to have as many as we could afford, which is a really bad decision. You should have way more than you can afford. But after 2, her body didn't handle it, and she said no more. So we have 2, and there's a lot of things we didn't necessarily do right, and one of my children doesn't talk to me. So you have 8. Keep them close, keep them tight, but also, let them grow. You're doing amazing. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your story with us.
I was going to say that's the one thing I would share. Thank you for helping me remember that, Herb, by the way, is that when you said about having more than you can afford, that's exactly why I've been doing it, because it gives me a greater strength to pull me forward to my dream, because that ultimately is my dream for my children. So thank you for that. That's the one tip I'm done now.
That's awesome. Love it, Robin.
Yeah, that was also something that Charlie Kirk said. Have them early and have more than you can afford and grow into it.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Awesome. Audience, this has been a wonderful time with you. I hope you've enjoyed the show as well. You know what the next steps are. We need to make sure we like and review and share this with everybody who needs to hear it, because guess what? There's families out there just like you who are ready to up level, who are ready to put more into their family and into their children, and not necessarily listen to everything that's happening in the society, but instead building up that strong foundation of family and love so that our children are that legacy. They can bring this new future into the world for us and do it by being together.
And we need strong families for America. That's what keeps our country together. So
every single day, love them, hold them close, and bye for now.
Bye for now.
Hello and welcome to Bringing Education Home. I'm Herb.
And I'm Christina. And together we bring you experts